Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Carrie Smoot with the Village Spa.
And I'm Michael Burgess with the Technical College of the Lowcountry.
And today we are here on your home stomping grounds in Beaufort on the campus at TCL.
Yep, we're in the Student Center. Students have a internet cafe, they have games, they have study area. Just a place for them to come and relax and get things together as they make their way through school. And we have some great artwork here behind us by local artist Hank Herring. Yeah, good stuff. And we've got guests.
We do, and our first guest is Leslie Natoli. She is actually the literacy teacher at the Bluffton Middle School, and she is here to discuss the River of Words program, which is a really neat program that is sponsored by 303 Associates.
All right, and then we have one of TCL's very own students, Jill Egbert. She's going to talk about going back to school after having spent some time in a career and restarting.
And last but not least, we have Mr. Van Willis. He is the town manager of the town of Port Royal to tell us all of the fun upcoming events that they've got going on in Port Royal.
So stick around for 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Our first guest today is Leslie Natoli. She is the literacy coach at Bluffton Middle School. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us about the River of Words program. What is it? What is it all about?
The River of Words program started 3 years ago, and Margaret Rushton, who's our fine arts coordinator in Beaufort County School District, asked if schools and teachers would like to participate. And what it is it's a way to teach our students from grades kindergarten through 12th grade more about the local watershed in which we live in, how important it is, how it affects our lives, and the scientific aspects of it, everything from how the watershed works to what happens when the water cycle goes through its cycle. And also, once they've learned the scientific knowledge, they then take that into their English classes and write poetry and art. And art is produced in many different forms. So it's a connection of 3 different disciplines.
So now when you say watershed, you're talking about all of the natural water elements in the area, marshes, rivers, creeks.
Exactly. We are just so blessed to live in a place where we have this beautiful ocean and beautiful marshes and all of it that impacts our lives. And I know driving over here this morning from Bluffton, I mean, it's a beautiful sight every day. And we, I think, need to remember that we live in such an area that is pristine and still very inviting.
Right. Who are the community supporters and organizations for River of Words?
Well, we have a number of them. First of all, we'd like to thank Dick Stewart from 303 Associates. He is also the founder of the Port Royal Foundation, which has offered a lot of help for River of Words. One of the things that we do with the science aspect is to take students on a cruise of Port Royal Sound. The local DNR has the Discovery vessel, and we spend several hours out on the water. And then the Waddell fisheries are right there, so then we look at see how that works. We also have the Kids in Kayaks program, which I am happy to say that I've participated in the last 3 years kayaking. And it's a lot of fun, but the children are also doing water testing and learning a lot about the environment and how the ecosystem works. Huntington State Park, the Nemours Wildlife Foundation, Beaufort Conservation, the Coastal Discovery Museum of Hilton Head Foundation, and I did mention the DNR, and I really want to mention Margaret Rushton because she spearheaded all of this and pulled this together with so many community people. Also at the Lowcountry Institute in Spring Island, we have Chris Marsh and Tony Mills, who are instrumental in the Master Naturals program, which is available for all teachers to learn about the environment as well. So we have a lot of people involved.
Could you describe Bluffton Middle School's approach to planning, implementing, documenting, and showcasing the River of Words?
Okay. We started 3 years ago very humbly with a small group of teachers, and I asked them if they were interested in pulling together some science lessons and crossing that over with art and with language arts and poetry. So the first year at Bluffton Middle, we had approximately 100 students involved, and we took those field trips, and we had guest speakers come in, and we had the town of Bluffton come in, and they were doing science experience. And then we had the art and the poetry. And we had a very successful year. A number of our students were published in the River of Words publication, which is a beautiful book. We'll talk more about it in a minute. A lot of students that are involved with this had their, the winners had their poetry and their art published in this book. This year we had over 500 students involved, and the teachers were all across the 7th grade and some 6th grade. So we had more than tripled the involvement of the students who were involved in the River of Words at our school. It takes a lot of coordination of effort for the teachers to put this together. So this is not something that happens overnight. It takes a lot of planning and a lot of implementation and a lot of work, but the payoff is so worth it.
So in terms of that involvement, are the students doing field trips or how?
It's field trips, field studies, guest speakers, and then working in the arts. And sometimes last year we were able to have an artist in residence come and work with the kids. Okay. So they're in and out of the building constantly.
I think anybody that lives in the area, it doesn't take long to figure out that art is a very big thing around here. So I think that's a great opportunity for the children to be able to integrate their art with the science. And obviously, taking care of our water is very important, but why do you think that this River of Words is so important to some of these kids?
I think because the students of all ages have an opportunity to contribute and to send a message that we are all responsible for the beauty that we have here, and that they are going to be the stewards of the future. Our income and our economics and our cultural life and every aspect of our life is really implemented and is impacted by the local watershed. And our students need to know that that's a very powerful thing.
Well, the longer I've lived here, too, I've noticed, I mean, I grew up fishing and camping, and no matter where I was, I grew up in the mountains, so we were always around water. But it kind of surprised me down here how many kids have never been exposed to it. I mean, there's kids here that have never been to the beach, never been in any of their water. Right. So I think that's a great opportunity to get them out and then make them understand the science behind it.
The most exciting thing is to watch a student who is going on a boat for the first time, seeing what their home is really like.
And so it's my understanding students, their artwork is on display at Artworks?
Yes.
Okay.
Artworks on Boundary Street in Beaufort, and it will be through next week.
All right, very good. Well, Leslie and Natoli, thank you for joining us. And stick around, we'll be back with more 843 TV.